Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today we're going to be talking about 7.1.5 and 7.2, the announcements that were done at Blizzcon, mainly focusing, of course, on the PvP aspects of things. I kind of want to discuss, just generally what they're talking about and kind of what my opinion is on this situation and kind of things that they should probably avoid compared to what we want. And of course, this is mainly just my opinion. A lot of people are gonna, differ and they're gonna have different opinions on the situation. But hey, let's jump into this and talk about it, guys. It looks like we got a Wrathy Basin, and is it kind of foggy? Is this weird? I don't know. Is this normal for Wrathy Basin? That's kind of different. Okay, anyways. So getting into what they are announcing at BlizzCon 7.1.5 and 7.2, guys, I'm actually really stoked for, and a lot of people seem to be too. Because in the PvP scene, they're apparently going to bring back some kind of PvP brawls where they bring back, of course, Tar and Mill and a few of the other cool battlegrounds. I was hoping for Zerker, but we didn't get Zerker. Alright, so a few of the other battlegrounds there. I'm getting stuned. I'm going to AMS, get back, casting my dragon at him too, and then coming in with CDs popping on this priest. Going to try, oh no, wrong priest. I was confused. I was like, why can't I hit this priest? Anyways, they're bringing out, of course, those battlegrounds, which I'm excited for. Terror and Mill is really fun. Absolutely fun battleground to do for a little while. I think that it could use some slight improvement, though, and not very much, because, of course, as a lot of things when it comes to PvP, we don't, or at least I don't, seem to necessarily like too much PvE influence. As in, like, Isle of Conquest, where, of course, there is a big fight in the beginning that is kind of fun, but the rest of the battleground tends to be, a lot of tank killing and shooting at turrets and just kind of running in and dropping bombs for the most part. And for the most part, PvPers don't really find that PvP, because usually we like to actually, like this, like, I'm killing a bear right now, this is PvP. If I'm killing a tank, of course it's player controlled, which makes it a little bit better. Actually, quite a bit better if it's player controlled, because you're still getting that PvP sensation. But again, if it's, of course, NPC controlled, you're definitely not getting that. So what I'm thinking is, like, the Terran Mill setting, if they brought that back, it would be amazing. Now, Terran Mill is fun with ranged, it's good on a DK, but if you're a melee and you don't have some kind of major gap closer, and even if you do have a major gap closer, like a Feral Druid, we're definitely not going to hit that. That battleground or a warrior can tend to be pretty harsh for you, because if you try to focus anybody, get in combat, you get halfway out in the middle and you get focused down by like 30 range. So what I was thinking was, imagine if we had the Terran Mill fight and then we added in like just a couple Lollipolts. And you're thinking, Lollipolts? Why would we want Lollipolts? It's bad, like you were saying. No, Lollipolts, ones that have kind of low health, so in case you have like druids or rogues and you want to actually gank them to keep the players from doing this, it would be viable to counter, obviously. Now, if that doesn't occur and you don't have people doing that, you have these Lollipolts that'll chuck the melee into the other raid. Of course, this will make it a lot more hectic, and of course, you'll probably have to focus these with the range and or switch to them really fast. Because once these little melees get inside, of course, your ranged DPS and start CCing, of course, Frost DKs, how they have like the mass AoE stun, would make that really strong. So melee that would normally suck under the right conditions would be extremely effective in the Terror Mill battle, instead of just kind of having to wait back until I can kind of grip somebody and then maybe kill them if we have enough time. So I feel like one of the only problems with Terran Mill is the initiation of the fight, because it's mainly just two raids standing there looking at each other for most of the time, until one maybe pushes into the other one. I feel like maybe those catapults would give melee a reason to actually initiate combat, kind of give a spearhead to the front, Either that, or I was also thinking that maybe you could do like a VIP mission when it came to Terran Mill to add kind of a different sense to the situation and, of course, different strategies. Like instead of having whatever they're going to have a player that's actually switched into an NPC with a certain amount of health, and then from there they try to kill it. Now, you could let's say you need like 5 people to kill this NPC, and of course, you send 3 people to defend it, which is also going to weaken that middle game. And of course, that middle game is going to have them little catapults throwing people at each other. And now you see where I'm getting, guys. It'll actually add a lot more flow and motion, I feel like, to Turin Mill battle. And of course, you can use the little buildings there to hide in, cause, the other team won't know where you're placed in. That'll be kind of cool. You got to kind of look around for them. Once you find them, you kind of get your group together and you go in to attack them. Now, of course, that'll create a Zerg sensation that'll go on between the two teams for a while. But all in all, I think it'd be a pretty cool fight. I mean, there's a lot of options they can do, because they're also talking about switching up battlegrounds. That's the reason why I'm kind of talking about this, when they create little different things going on with battlegrounds. Like, they're talking about Arathi Basin. That's why I made that joke about it looking foggy, is they're talking about, having snow caps one day or one week where there's just a ton of snow in Arathi Basin, and you can only see so far. Like, you can only see maybe 12 yards away from you. Now, I think that's really cool. There is a slight problem with that, though. Of course, healers are going to have to stay very close to their melee. And whether or not, are you going to be able to see your own team through the snow? Or are you just not going to be able to see the other team? Because that'll create quite a bit of confusion, too. Now, the one thing I am slightly worried about with those is those will be very, very strong for melee if you can't actually see people without, that, 12-yard range. And of course, if you can see that far, it would almost make the thing pointless, in my opinion, just to have it a little foggy. Oh gosh, there's a little snow on the ground, guys. Maybe we'll get a little bit more FPS lag when we're in Battlegrounds, but all in all, I feel like there needs to be some kind of change to it, something a little bit more effective than just maybe a little snow on the ground, in my opinion. Now, that'll also create, I think, kind of a buff to melee during that battleground, which will kind of be cool in my opinion. But here's the other thing. They're also discussing adding in some mount PvP combat. Now, mount PvP combat is not very popular, I think, between the PvP community. As far as I've heard and discussed with people, they think it's kind of cool to begin with, but after a while, it just gets kind of old. And for the most part, when I'm doing my world quests up in, I believe it's, where is it? I can't remember. But anyways, there's a mounted PvP quest up in the northeastern Broken Isles. And basically, you go around, you kill animals, and of course you mount up on them. And then you go around and finish the quest by killing other PvPers and or just killing bears. And for the most part, I see people just ignoring each other, acting like PvP combat's not even involved, and just killing animals and basically waving at each other as they run by. And of course, I'm on a PvP server. There's a lot of PvPers on Darkspear, and it is Alliance heavy. But still, they just kind of look at me, they look at each other, and they go around and they kill bears, and they don't really kill each other. And I kind of find that disappointing to see, and I feel like the mounted PvP combat system is not very popular, so I'm not really sure how they're going to come about doing that, and I don't feel like mounted PvE of any sorts was also popular. It was okay with TOC, but after a little while, I think people really got kind of tired of that whole situation. I know I kind of did. I did do a bunch of the dailies. I did earn a lot of the mounts back then, but the mounted PvP is really, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. It may be good for a few days. It may be really cool because mixing things up and something being new, of course, would be really fun. Let's say everyone's mounted up on a certain kind of mount in Arathi Basin, kind of like this. It could be really cool. But like I was saying before, how the snow would give melee a buff, I believe that giving mounted PvP and adding too much mobility to ranged classes, of course, would give them quite a bit of buff. Now, arguably, it could work also for melee, but as you know, ranged classes have a ton of kind of lockdowns for keeping people off them. Now, as a melee, as a DK, we have very limited mobility, so breaking out of those things can generally be kind of hard. So all in all, it'll be pretty tough for a lot of melee to kind of do those battles and compete with a lot of ranged heavy teams. Almost like the same problem I was talking about with the Terra and Mill PvP scene. There's a lot of people on us right now. We're going down. Just going to spread dots as far as I can. There's just way too many pushing there. Yeah, whoa, what's going on with the map? We got 4 of them capped. Okay, so they're pushing out a blacksmith. That's like all their team pushing out, as they're trying to also cap the blacksmith flag behind them. That's pretty hilarious, actually. So yeah, that was stupid for us to be there, but yeah, we just happened to be standing there talking about this stuff. I'm not really paying attention to what's going on in this battleground. I'm still getting involved in these thoughts and ideas, as I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for things to change. Things to be a little different in PvP besides, you know, the basic stuff that we've been suited with. And I feel like there is quite a bit of opportunity for some positive reinforcement for PvP. And I'm kind of just feel like voicing my opinion on it. Probably won't change too much. Probably won't change anything. In all honesty, but hey, we can put it out there and see if anything happens, guys. And of course, leave in the comments below what your thoughts and ideas on this are. I want to know if you guys think this is cool, what they should change, if you think my ideas are awesome, if they should add in, you know, maybe a VIP setting in BGs where you try to kill one player that's transformed into an NPC, of course, controlling new abilities, and, you know, you got to defend them or something instead of flag capping. Like they said, of course, also that they're going to have Warsong, like a regular Warsong Gulch, but with one change in it where they're going to have like, you know, even if you have the other person's flag, they can still cap on you if they have your flag. So that's going to be interesting, seeing those speed caps. And of course, in those battles, it's going to be very prevalent to, you know, have demon hunters and rogues and druids that can sprint really fast compared to having some kind of major tank that can hold on to the flag forever, receive a little bit of heals, and never die. So you can see how those are going to definitely change the whole situation of the battleground. So in these slight ways is I'm really excited, and they really have a ton of options that they can do with this. Now, talking about stuff that we kind of want, they're bringing back, you know, like world events like that, they could definitely bring back a queuable Wintergrass. I've seen a lot of comments and people talking about bringing back Wintergrass, and I agree, Wintergrass would be really fun. It was definitely one of my favorite world PvP events. I liked it definitely better than Tolbrad, because Tolbrad was kind of just the Zergfest for the most part. And of course, sorry guys, we all hate Trash Can. Sorry, not sorry. We all hate Trash Can. I got a quest for it the other day, and I still haven't done it because I don't want to go to Trash Can. Like, I just don't want to do it. We're gonna kill. Yeah, we got him. No, we didn't get him. How dare you? How dare you? He barely survived. Anyways, yeah, we don't want to go back to Ashran, yet they still try to force us back to Ashran. Stop that, guys. That's kind of where the balance between, like I was talking before, PvE and PvP was broken. There's way too much PvE going on in Ashran, and it was way too much of a Zergfest. There was never straggling PvP. There was no option of getting in 1v1s. It was just a major Zergfest. And of course, that's why Alteric Valley is one of the most loved giant BGs out there, is because there is that smaller option for smaller PvP combat, or you can run into that giant, like, 30 versus 30 man battle out there. And of course, there is other slight options to go to towers and bosses, which cause those to thin out, and of course, people to be spread out and give those options to, you know, PvP in different areas and not be zerged down by 30 people. And I really feel like that's one of the key things to making a good battleground for people, is having those options. And not just a Zergfest like Isle of Conquest. So that's one of the reasons I feel like we should add in like little catapults or NPCs when it comes to Tar and Mill. Because Tar and Mill is really cool, but like, I feel like it could be better. I feel like it could flow better. I feel like it could be more extreme. I feel like it could be more intense, kind of like that Alteric Valley feel, while still focusing on the main PvP sense, of course, because we don't want to stray off from it too far. Of course, you want that playable interaction. Kind of like those towers we have the world quests at the moment, the PvP tower world quest where we kill the NPCs. Even though it's called PvP world quest, they are still PvE. They are still scripted NPCs that we are fighting. There's never a change. There's always too much consistency, and that's why us PvPers like our PvP, because it's always changing. It's never the same. You could win, you could lose, you could get focused by 30 people, you could get focused by one person. But I feel like this overall is definitely a step in the right direction when it comes to PvP, guys. And one little thing I'd like to add, maybe a week they could add in queuable 1v1s, just like queuable duels where they spawn you inside of an arena standing on top of a bridge, and you've got to win 3 of them, maybe 5 of them to get done your artifact quest done for the week, something like that. Because there's been a lot of people demanding that there's some kind of queuable 1v1s, and I don't feel like you should be able to farm them to get up major artifact. Of course, maybe rewarding 100, maybe 50 would be cool. But I feel like it would be a really cool thing to bring to the game. Of course, not have rating for it. Obviously, just to be fun. It would be fun to 1v1 a lot of classes in Arena. I feel like it'd be cool to make some videos of that. Like, I would totally be down and supportive of it. Even if, of course, my class isn't the best dueling class. I'm not going to be too hurt by it, honestly. But anyways, guys, go ahead and leave comments down below what you think of this video. What do you think about the stuff they are adding into the game? What do you think about these little changes? And personally, I think they should bring back some stuff kind of like the Coliseum battle. One of the things in Warlords of Draenor I loved was the Coliseum battle. I hated you could talk to people and plan it out, but loved the battle. So anyways, guys, leave a like on this video. Subscribe. Until next time, this is your boy Hazzed.